Right, we're going to start with these beach huts along here. I've got to put a base colour in, and I'm going to use a base colour that is universal for all of the colours that I'm going to be using here. This light grey. Now, although I've got a base colour in, I don't want to make that too strong. So we just want to put a little bit of blue in. And the next one along will be a red. And so on along there. And I'll continue along here. Now we just need to blend this out. So we've got a nice smooth surface. Then we start working on them again. Now what we want to do is to keep them dulled down a bit. I don't want the blue here to be too bright. So I'm just going to put a little bit of grey on it, just to tone it down a bit. That's better. And a little bit of Payne's grey, put just a bit of detail in. There's a little bit of shadow on the side. Light's coming from that direction, so we want a little bit of that. And just by way of a change, we'll just put a little bit of light grey on the top. But I won't use grey, I'll use white, purely to lighten it up just a little bit, like that. Okay, I'll leave that for the moment and see how that works out. Now the next one is a red, so we're going to be, this is a low squat one, so we'll put a little bit of detail in, like that. And this is going to be darker, so we can afford to have a little bit of depth on this side, like that. And the sand obviously will run across here, so we don't have to worry too much about the bottoms. That's something that will come. Okay, that's great. Now it's also nice to have a little variation in colour, so I'm just going to make it just slightly varied. And with this one, I'm just going to use the blender again. This is as fiddly as you want it to be, really. Now at the top, I've decided to put a grey or a blue roof on there. Actually, it's a grey slaty roof, but I'll put a blue to start with and do what I did on the other one. Put a little bit of blue on there like that, and then that's pretty, isn't it? And that's a little bit of Payne's grey there. We can also use Payne's grey in here on top of the red. All the combination of colours. See, now that looks quite pretty. And another one down there, just so we've got a little bit of shadow, like that. And there's a little shadow that comes off of that onto the side of this white building. So I'll just indicate that. Now I know that is too severe, but it won't be when we bring in the other colours. That's a little lighter grey. It just looks, and then we can use a lighter grey. I can find one here to temper it back. I think I've just done. I'm going to do the whole of the others, but obviously I can't spend length of time on the video, so I'll show you that when it's done. But so far I'm quite happy with those. Okay, now this area here is some steps leading up to a window that they serve ice creams from in the summer. So we put the steps in. Now I've already put some shadow underneath, but I need to put a bit more. Now there's a little bit of it's a little fiddly, this, but it's worth the effort involved. There, like that. Start a bit tentative, then we can always pick it up later on. Now those go. These are the rails that go up, so we just outline those a little. I've put those already in white. Okay, now we can do a little bit darker than that. I think we've got the steps in, so we can just make them. It's obviously artistic license involved here. You've got to be bold, but at the same time there's a little bit of support at the back here, like that. Okay, I think that will do. It goes once again into the sand. Now on this side here we've got to put some shadow as a result of that. We use our grey, Obviously this is going around the corner a little bit here, so we'll put some shadow in. And a little darker. There, so we make that a little bit more prominent. And I think I'm going to call that okay. Oh, right, happy with that. Just maybe try to make those white posts just a little bit more prominent. That's good. And just maybe a little more detail. You can always fiddle afterwards, just put little fiddly bits in. But that's it. I think we can recognise those as steps going up. Okay, move on.